Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews. For today's video, it's going to be a special edition of the tier ranking, with this one being all about Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU's Phase 4, TV series, Disney Plus series and movies, ranking them from A to F. So let's get into it. So I'll be completely honest, when it comes to like Marvel Phase 4, it's very hit and miss for me. Some of the shows were just really poorly executed when it comes to the finale. Some of the movies just wasn't all that great. So I've got like mixed feelings when it comes to like Phase 4, and I just feel like it's also just so oversaturated. Like doing the research here, Phase 1 and 2 had about 6 to 7 movies throughout the course of like the next couple of years, and then Phase 3 had 11 movies spread across. So with this one, altogether there's 16 movies and TV series spread across from what, 20 spread across like 2 years, I believe it is. Yeah, so like it's just so oversaturated and just the quality dipped a little bit for me, but we'll discuss each one as we get into it. So when it comes to like the first option here, where you've got Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I just did the review of that, spoiler review of it. I'll be completely honest, I loved this movie. I thought it was definitely one of the better movies in Phase 4. Really emotional, really well directed. Given the circumstance they had to go through, I think that they did a fantastic job with this movie. The plot was very well executed. The action scenes, Namor versus Black Panther, Shuri and her situation with like Wakanda in itself, really well done. And so for me, when it comes to like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I'm gonna give this one an A triple plus. Definitely a great movie, definitely one of the better ones in Marvel Phase 4. So for me, it's going up there as an A triple plus. I love this movie. I know it's not as good as the first one, but this is specifically just for Phase 4. I really think this is a fantastic movie here. And then next up on the list here, we've got Black Widow. I'll be completely honest, I completely forgot about this movie until doing the research for this video. And for me, when it comes to like this particular movie, I just feel like it was so out of place. It should have been in an earlier phase. Like the events took place between Civil War and Infinity War. I feel like they should have placed that movie in between that, or even in between Infinity War and Endgame, like that timeline between 2018 to 2019. Just having it placed after we find out that she passed away and that she died in Endgame just felt very odd. And then also when it comes to like the plot, I'll be honest, the plot, I found it interesting. I like the dynamic between Natasha and Florence Pugh's character. Like Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh were a fantastic dynamic. They were really funny together. They were really interesting. The Red Guardian obviously was hilarious. But I just felt like the third act just dipped heavily. The CGI was a bit... what am I talking about? The CGI was completely off in the third act. And Taskmaster's reveal just was such a letdown, I'll be completely honest. I feel like it's such a bad like reveal, and then just everything dipped for me. So the plot just wasn't strong enough. The characteristics and the trios with Red Guardian, Florence Pugh, Scarlett Johansson just wasn't as strong enough to hold this movie together. So for me, when it comes to like Black Widow, I'm gonna give this one a C minus. It's the first act, and like I said, the family dynamic was entertaining, but just dipped a lot. Even some of the fight sequences were very good, but just dipped a lot when it comes to like the third act, the final battle, the CGI, the reveals, just infuriating. And also, once again, should have been done a lot earlier. And next up on the list is Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. And I'll be honest, when I first watched it, I didn't enjoy it as much. I thought it was very fascinating. I like what they did, especially with Sam Raimi's take on the movie in itself. However, after rewatching it again, like 2 weeks ago, I enjoyed it more, and like it's got a rewatchable factor in it. I like Doctor Strange, I like America Chavez. I only wish that they could have explored more of the multiverse, but having the Illuminati in there, having Professor X and that X-Men theme that I just can't get enough of. I thought they did a fantastic job. Scarlet Witch, I just don't see how she can recover now, because she was went so batshit crazy in this movie. But overall, I did have a fun time with this movie after rewatching it again. So for me, when it comes to like Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, I'm giving this like a B minus. Sorry, I keep forgetting to do this. So from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I'm giving this a B minus. Overall, I'm giving this probably a 7.5 out of 10. Wakanda Forever, I'm giving that a 9.5 out of 10. And Black Widow, I'm giving that a 6 out of 10 for me. But yeah, when it comes to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, very solid rewatchable factors. Just wish they explored the multiverse more, but I really like the dynamic with Wong, Doctor Strange, and also like the variants of Doctor Strange 2. Just really was fantastic to watch. And then when it comes to the next one, you've got Eternals. I'll be completely honest, it's like one of the forgotten Marvel movies there. It's not one of the worst ones, I'll be honest, but it is pretty clunky and just oversaturated with characters, the timelines as well. Like, I really liked some of the characters in there, but overall, like, the plot in itself just felt very like put together too much. Too much was happening for me. I enjoyed it, but it hasn't got that rewatchable factor for me. It's more like a first time watch. Some of the characters were great. I really enjoyed like certain characters in there, and like, for example, Icarus and Cersei, and amongst like some of the other cast members there. But just for me, like, overall the plot was just too much for me. Like, too many things happening there. The timelines just living for like thousands of years and stuff. The explanations of like why they haven't interfered and that kind of stuff just felt very weak to me. So for me, when it comes to like Eternals, I'm gonna put this as like a, once again with Black Widow, as a C minus. Overall, probably a 6.5 as well out of 10. The visuals were a lot better. CGI was a lot better, but the plot itself just wasn't strong enough to keep me engaged. And when it also comes to like the Celestial in the middle of the ocean, just not explored ever since. A little bit of Easter eggs in She-Hulk, but just not explained at all. It just feels like the forgotten movie. So yeah, for me, C minus there. And so then next up on the list here is we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When it comes to this show, this is one of the first Disney Plus shows of the tier ranking here. When it comes to this one, I'll be completely honest, I had a fun time with it. I rewatched it, I think, like 2-3 times so far now. And I really like Bucky and Sam, and I really like Sam's arc throughout the whole show, giving up the shield, having to like fight, and like the reason why he doesn't want to become Captain America because of like everything going on. John Walker is like the antagonist, villain type person being Captain America, I thought was really fun, good dynamic. We got to see Baron Zemo dancing, which I loved seeing that. So Baron Zemo dancing was the best thing in this show. However, overall, it was fun, it was entertaining, the storyline was good. I just felt like the villains were very weak, like the Flag Smashers just wasn't as strong enough of villains for me. But overall, I found it fun. I really liked the interactions with everybody, and together with like Zemo, Bucky, Sam, and John Walker, just really great to see. And so, for me, when it comes to Falcon and Winter Soldier, I enjoyed it. I'll just give this a... I'll give this a C plus. It's not the best Disney Plus show for me, but it's definitely up there. So for me, I'll have to give this a C plus, a solid 7 out of 10 for me. Just like the Flag Smashers really brought it down, and even like the final episode too, just kind of a little bit of a letdown. But overall, I really enjoyed like the show and like what they were going to do with it. And so the next up on the list here is we've got Hawkeye. For me, one of the better Disney Plus shows, I have to be honest. It really was a fun time. I really enjoyed like the ground-based level. It did get me back to like a lot of like the Netflix Marvel shows with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. It's like a lot of grounded stuff. You get to like explore more of like Hawkeye, which I really enjoyed. I really like Hawkeye as a character, and Kate Bishop as well. Like, she was really fun to watch. The dynamics with her and Hawkeye, the storyline was really great. Florence Pugh entering the mix just elevated the show a lot more as well. So it was a fun show. My only nitpick I had is that like they revealed Kingpin way too late, and then the finale as well, it's just like rushed a little bit. But overall, when it comes to Hawkeye, for me, I'm giving this one a B plus. It's definitely up there as one of the better ones. I really liked what they did. I'm curious to see, like, I know Echo wasn't as strong as a character as she could have been, but having her own show now, seeing what that could be done was really interesting for me. Obviously seeing Kingpin back as well, just a major plus, so I really like that. So yeah, I definitely give this one a solid B plus, probably an 8 out of 10 for me there. And so then next up on the list here is we've got Loki. I'm gonna put this in right now. For me, Loki is an A. It's my favorite Disney Plus series that they've done so far. It was so fun to watch. I really enjoyed Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I really liked the variants that they had: Sylvie, Alligator Loki, Kid Loki. Just really fantastic to like watch. And also when it comes to like Owen Wilson's character too, Mobius, I really found that dynamic to be fantastic. The first episode was so engaging. Each episode was getting very interesting. Having like He Who Remains as like the villain reveal at the end of the finale, I just thought was done. This is one of the rare shows where the finale really like tied in everything, made everything come together nicely. So for me, Loki was a really fantastic show, a really solid show. So I have to give this one a good solid 9.5 out of 10. The reason why it doesn't go up as an H triple plus is that I just feel like it's got that rewatchable factor, but it's just, it doesn't blow everything out of the water. Maybe because with the finale they left like a lot of things for season 2. It goes as an A, but not like as an A triple plus where it's like Black Panther level there. And then next up on the list here is we've got Moon Knight. I really was interested to see what they were going to do with Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke killed it in this show. They did a solid job in this show. Oscar Isaac's performances, especially in that one episode where they revealed his backstory, his childhood trauma, he outperformed himself in this when it comes to like Mark versus Steven, like their interactions and their battle with one another. And then Ethan Hawke just nailed it in this role as like the villain. I really loved what they did with it. I really like the avatars in this. The only thing that suffers when it comes to like this show is like the finale. Once again, like I feel like they should have had an extra episode and split the finale into 2 parts, because it just felt rushed once again. Just too much happening at once. Like the storyline just felt like it was just squished together, and like you didn't get to explore as much as you wanted to. So that's the only thing negative for me that I do have when it comes to like Moon Knight. But for Moon Knight, when it comes to this show, I'm giving this a good solid B+. I really enjoyed this show. It's definitely as good as Hawkeye. Loki is slightly better, just in my personal opinion, because of the finale with Moon Knight. But I really cannot wait to see what he's going to do in the future when it comes to like future projects with future movies, future Disney Plus shows, Midnight Suns as a potential for him as well. So I really am excited with Moon Knight, and I really love the introduction and Oscar Isaac. I cannot wait to see more of him. And then next up on the list here is we've got Miss Marvel. I'll be completely honest, I was not excited for this show. Felt like it was very like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon type show. Just didn't really appeal to me. But the first episode really hooked me in. It was really fun. Kamala is a very engaging character. She's very bubbly and got great personality. She does explore the show quite a bit in a good manner. I just felt like they needed 2 seasons for like the storyline that they wanted to go for. They have the clandestines, and then they had the like the stuff with the Pakistan and like damage control and all that kind of stuff. So everything was just put together all in one season. Just didn't explore as much as it wanted to. Once again, felt just very rushed. So for me, I do feel like it's one of the better Disney Plus shows. Definitely caught me by surprise. So when it comes to like Miss Marvel, I'm going to put this, it's on the same level as Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like a C+, probably a good solid 7.5 out of 10. So for me, when it does come to like Miss Marvel, it is entertaining, it is fun, but just very too much happening all at once, and it should have just been spread out across 2 seasons. Have one season explore the clandestines, have another season exploring her powers and that kind of stuff with damage control. But just because they want to put it together, and that's the issue with Disney Plus shows, it's just too much things happening all at once, and not everything fleshed out and explored and written as much as like it should have been like spread out. And then for me, when it comes to Shang-Chi, this one I was very excited because it's like sort of kung fu based and like martial arts and that kind of stuff. I really loved this movie. This was a very fun movie for me. I enjoyed what they did with it. I really liked the character. I really liked the side characters too. The plot was very well directed and very well written. So for me, when it comes to Shang-Chi, I'm giving this one like a B+. This one was very entertaining or very enjoyable. I really liked what they did with this movie, and I cannot wait to see more of Shang-Chi. I really liked the exploration of the 10 rings, him versus his dad, and like all of that stuff that happened within the movie. Really fun to watch. So this one is definitely got a rewatchable factor, so I have to give this, and the fight choreographs too, really well done. So Shang-Chi is definitely a B+, a good solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for me here. And then next up on the list here is we've got She-Hulk. I just did my spoiler review last week, a couple of weeks ago with this show. It definitely didn't help when it comes to like the finale and like what they were going with. Tatiana did a fantastic job. Jennifer Walters is a great character, but the way that was written, the way it was explored, I just felt like it could have done so much more with the character when it comes to that. I like how each episode had its own separate like subplot, contained story, but the fourth wall breaking, the social commentary, like the comments about men and all that kind of stuff, just really, what's the word, like downgraded the show ever so slightly. And then the finale too, just the clunkiness, the messiness, just pushing everything to the back burner. Daredevil showing up was like the best part for me there, because I love Daredevil, I love the Netflix show. But for me with She-Hulk, this one is gonna have to go as like a D for me there. It just could have been so much better with the way they've written it, but having like Abomination there, having Wong there, having Hulk, and then his son too, good introduction to characters, bringing back characters, but just poorly executed for me. And then next up on the list for me as well is we've got Spider-Man No Way Home. This, I mean, right now, A++. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Spider-Man No Way Home are two of the best movies of Phase 4. I just loved the Easter eggs. I loved Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire all returning. The movie just was so fun. I loved the sequences when it comes to like the third act between the Lizard, Sandman, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Jamie Foxx's Electro. Just really, really great what they've written and what they did with this movie. I loved this movie. I've rewatched it maybe 4 times now. It's so fun for me. I loved this movie. I loved like the little winks to like previous movies, the like little lines that they did with like Green Goblin, Norman Osborn saying he's a scientist as well, talking about the sun being in the palm of his hands with Dr. Octopus, just like little nods here and there. And then that one particular scene on the rooftop with Andrew Garfield talking about how he lost Gwen, just really hitting it in the nail there, and saving MJ as well, similar to like how he couldn't save Gwen. Just really good callbacks to the movies and just so fantastic. I remember like the build up to this movie, the trailers being released, the Andrew Garfield being interrogated. It just was a fun ride, and the execution at the end. I remember like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being revealed in the cinema and just my theatre going nuts. Fun experience, fun movie, definitely an A++ for me. And then next up on the list we've got Thor Love and Thunder, and this movie was so infuriating for me. It was so bad. Like I tried to rewatch it like last week, and it was frustrating, like the constant comedy, the constant funny lines, the non-seriousness of the movie. It just felt like they tried to make a parody of Thor, and it was just so infuriating, because I know Taika Waititi could have done such a fantastic job with the movie. So them doing this with Thor and just making it all comedy, having like Sith lying on her deathbed only to like just have a joke and her get up, Korg like you thinking he's dead only for him to make a joke as well. Just there's no seriousness, no impactful like lines or anything like that. It just felt more like comedy after comedy after comedy. And even Gore the God Butcher, like Christian Bale just wasn't explored much. Didn't see much of like the killings that he like got to do throughout the movie. We didn't get to see him killing enough gods. So for me, just such a letdown with this movie. So when it comes to like Thor Love and Thunder, I've got to be honest, it goes up there as like a D+ for me. To be honest with you, it's the same as the Eternals. I'm moving the Eternals as like a D as well. Thor: Love and Thunder was just such a letdown for me, and like I was so excited to see what they were gonna do with it. Excited to see the exploration of it, but just that comedy was just so frustrating for me. So I'm gonna have to give this one a D minus here, and I had to move the Eternals because I don't think the Eternals is any better than Thor, and I know that I'm gonna get slated for like Black Widow being above Thor: Love and Thunder, but like the characters with Natasha and Florence Pugh, Red Guardian, just was great for me, and like I liked the potential of the plot. Yeah, the movie took place too much ahead of the time when it should have been so much more earlier, but if you do place it earlier in like the timeline, it was a decent movie. Thor: Love and Thunder, just too much comedy there. And then when it comes to WandaVision, because there was no Marvel stuff from the pandemic, so like you had Spider-Man Far From Home, and then that came out in like August of 2019, I believe it was. So then from 2019 all the way up until January of 2021, we didn't get to see any Marvel stuff. So then when you have WandaVision, I'll be honest, I really loved WandaVision. It was a really solid Disney Plus show. The first 2 episodes you kind of feel like, okay, what's going on here, what they're going to do with it, but I really liked what they did. I really liked Vision and Wanda, like together, the introduction of the 2 kids, Billy and Tommy, having Agatha be revealed as it was Agatha all along, like certain episodes having like shout outs to like sitcoms and that kind of stuff, was really solid for me. So for me, when it comes to WandaVision, the finale was a huge letdown because once again it just felt rushed, and I know given the circumstances with COVID and everything, they couldn't bring like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange and that kind of stuff. So the finale wasn't as strong as it could have been, but the show overall, it's got that rewatchable factor. It's very entertaining. So for me, I'll be completely honest, this goes as an A for me. It was a solid start to the phase 4 technically, and a very good Disney Plus series there. Wanda was fantastic in this show, so I have to give this an A minus, an 8.5 out of 10 for me there. And then for the final like Disney Plus show of the phase 4, we've got What If, and I'll be completely honest, some of the episodes were just very meh for me. I wasn't as excited for this. I'll be completely honest, season 2 I'm gonna watch it, but the excitement factor isn't as high as like Loki season 2, for example. So when it comes to like What If, I'm gonna give this a B minus. Some of the episodes, like the Doctor Strange episode, the one with Ultrons and that kind of stuff, the zombie one was pretty fun too. They had some good episodes and fun exploration of what they could have been. Even the T'Challa as like Star-Lord was very fun. But some of the episodes were just a little bit hit and miss. But I do like the concept. I do like the what if aspect of it. So it is a fun, solid show. B minus for me. Maybe a 7.5, because some of the episodes were a bit meh, but the ones that were good were really solid, like Doctor Strange's one, T'Challa's one. The finale was really solid for me, and the Watcher as a character was really fun to watch. And then the final one here is like sort of like a special, a Disney Plus special feature here, which is Werewolf by Night. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did, given that it's all black and white, given it's like 15 minutes or so. This was such a fun special for me. I really liked what they did. So for me right now, I'm giving this one a A. It's a fun special. I only wish it was longer. I cannot wait to explore more of like Werewolf and the characters there. Really solid special, and I'm really excited to see like what they want to do more of when it comes to like these specials. So for me, it goes as an A, probably not an A minus or an A plus, just like a regular A. I give it a good 9 out of 10. It was really fun for me. So this is like the list here of like my personal opinion of Marvel Phase 4 Disney Plus shows and Marvel movies. I know I'm gonna get slated for like certain ones there. This is just my opinion there. Let me know down in the comment section below what your opinion is, what you thought about everything when it comes to like phase 4. I'll be completely honest, like I mentioned in the beginning, this oversaturation, so much content trying to be pushed out, quality dips a lot, so the CGI in certain like movies and shows just wasn't as strong as it could have been. So it really like was a letdown compared to like the other phases, phase 1, 2 and 3. I'm really hoping for like phase 5 to be a good strong foundation, build up more. You've got like King as like a good like villain there. You've got Ant-Man Quantumania, which I'm so excited about. You've got so much other explorations there. Avengers Secret War, Avengers Kang Dynasty. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with that. But for me, Phase 4 is probably like, if you're ranking the phases, Phase 4 for me is like the lowest one on the list. They're good solid movies, good solid shows, but just overall a dip in quality for me there. So this is my list. Let me know down in the comment section below what your list, your favorite, your least favorite overall. Let me know what you think about my one. I know, as I mentioned, some may not agree with like some of the ones that I picked out, but let me know down in the comment section below. This is like my tier ranking here. I'm going to be trying to do much more of like different franchises here, but there will be a tier ranking of like the movies that I've seen for the month of November at the end as usual. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. If you really like the video, hit that subscribe button. So much tier type videos will be coming out in the future here on the channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos here. There's going to be weekly videos about movie news, show news there, so that you don't miss out on that. Hit that notification bell. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening though. This is YK Reviews. Peace.